Hello, uh, this is my chili video, and I have a confession to make. So this is first generation of chili, and then this is second generation of chili. Um, I will give you a point of view in a minute. So this plant here is 1 year old, and this plant here is 2 weeks old. You can check the quality when it comes to the green. They are not the same. For me to do this video today, I want to explain something here about the first generation of chili, right? So I have two types of chili that I took. I took the Peri Peri, which is the tall, skinny one, and then I took the chili, which is the short, almost bigger when it comes to the girth, right? So I planted them into separate pots. So I have two pots here. Actually, let me bring my chili pots so that I can explain everything into detail while everything is on the table. Yeah. Okay. So let me do this. These pots are the same, right? But they are not the same. What do I mean when they are not the same? Here's the date. Chili short, right? This chili, it's a short chili. And then this one, if you may read, I don't know. You see, here's the date 07/05/2025. And then here I wrote chili short with an arrow or long, right? So what do I mean when I talk about a short chili and a long chili? It means that I received 2 packs of chili, which is the long chili and then the short chili, right? The long chili, it's Peri Peri, and then the short one is a normal chili. Now, what I'm trying to explain to you here is there was, how do I need to put this? There was too much rain, right? I planted the seeds and then it was raining heavy. And both of these pots were standing next to each other, like some type of this, right? And then the pot started filling up to a level where the seeds actually tipped over. Luckily enough, I don't know what happened in that time while I was going through the plants and I saw the seeds. For an example, again, here's a dried up one. I don't know if you're gonna see it here. Here's a dried up seed, right? So the seeds actually mixed, right? So I'm saying this because you might find that these three, it's a short chili, and then these three, it's a tall chili, it's a longer chili, right? Now the seeds are mixed from both of the pots, right? That's why I wrote short or long, because I'm not aware about this generation here? Is it the longer generation or the shorter generation? Right? And then I'm not well informed or educated when it comes to the chili planting, when it comes to the red peri peri ones, the peri peri ones, which is the taller ones, and then skinny, or the shorter ones, and then they are bigger, right? And the problem is here, right? First generation of chili, I got a shorter chili. That's the purpose of this video. I got a shorter chili, and then I got too excited. I didn't allow it to grow, or let's just say allow it to turn red, right? Because both of the chilies, the shorter and the one, they can turn red. I got them when they turned red, which is they ripe, right? I didn't wait for one to ripe to where I can actually tell or confirm to you about the second generation to say, is it a peri peri or is it a chili? If what I'm trying to say to you makes sense, right? So these trees, there's a possibility there's a chili, and then there's a possibility it's a peri peri, right? Even though when I planted them from the beginning, I separated them, but now by the look of things, they are going to mix. They are mixed. Let's just say that there's a short chili in a one pot, same as the longer chili, right? What I can tell you that I'm already identifying here is, look at this one. You see this one from the bottom, it's big, and then it's flowery here compared to this one. This one, it's tall, and then it becomes a straight strand, right? I'm saying this is because I'm seeing the very same patterns in some of the plants here. You see here, it starts here, it becomes flowery, and then it grows, meaning that there's a possibility I can try to identify, or it's just a guessing game here where I can say all of them are the same. But when it comes to producing of a chili or a peri peri, what are we working with here? Understand? So I don't know, because if you might look again, right, these ones, they snip off very easily. You see, they become taller while snip off. And then this one, they are shorter, and then they are bushy. They don't snip off, right? They don't. This one, same pattern, right? I'm trying to show you the patterns here. Like, you see, they snip off, but they still growing taller into a plant compared to this one here. This one, it's still short, but it's bushy. If I'm trying to explain to you that there is difference while I'm looking here, but also I don't know, is it a chili? I don't know the parents. Let me just say it. I don't know the parents of this generation. When it goes to time, through time, where we can say, okay, they are now producing, I think that's where I can tell and say, okay, it's the short chili or a longer chili. And then from there, I'll start separating them. But for now, I don't know. I don't know also, do they cross? And also, if they cross, how do you cross? Is it that is individually that I separated and I say from a pot? I don't know. Okay, going back to the video. So I have my chili here, or peri peri. I want to teach you the process where now um, a chili grows, it starts to become like a small ball that's going to tip over, and then that ball will release a flower, right? It releasing a flower, inside the flower, that's where the seed will come out. The chili or the peri peri will come out and become a full peri peri, right? So I don't know. Let me go check. Do I still have the full peri peri or something? Give me a few minutes. So I can't find a chili or a peri peri so that I can give you a full context on what I'm talking about here. But let's continue with the video. So I want to show you, né? Let's see. Yeah, this one will make sense. So I always use a toothpick. It makes my work easy, right? It makes my work easy. Okay. Let's process. I believe what I'm trying to explain to you here regarding the growing of a chili or a peri peri is the plant itself is gonna release something as if like it's a small tiny ball, and then the ball is going to tip over. After it tipping over, it's going to flower, right? And then when it flowers inside, you find black tiny particles, and then a long strand which is white, right? That long strand that is white, that's where the chili or a peri peri will grow out from, to actually where now you can harvest the plant, right? So that's how the process of growing from a plant to actually harvesting, right? So like I said, if you were to compare these ones and these ones are very growing rapidly, even though they are 2 weeks old compared to this one. This one, it's like I said, it's already a year now, or almost a year. But this was my learning phase, if it makes sense. This was both of the pots are my learning phase. So I cannot tell whether the grow is slow or the grow is well, right? Compared to the second generation, already they are like a meter long, and it's like 2 weeks, right? So Yeah. That's the first generation, and then the second generation. The second generation, well, it all comes from one chili that I took out seeds from. I put the seeds in the water. Why I decided to put the seeds in the water, it's because the alive seeds would submerge at the bottom, and then the the dead seeds will stay at the top, meaning that they will float. So the ones that are floating are dead seeds. Possibilities of them growing, it's zero compared to the ones that are submerged at the bottom. The ones that will be submerged at the bottom, there's a possibility of growing. It's 80% to 85%, right? So here's the results of just taking one chili, right? One chili can release more than 10 seeds, right? So we have more plus minus 10 here. We have plus minus 10. Let me show you. So if you're asking yourself why there's black charcoal here, so black charcoal, it's helpful for me to hide the seeds for the birds not to come and eat them. And also the black charcoal also works when it comes to its being a storage for the roots. Same applies with the wood. The wood becomes a sponge, meaning that if the soil does not have water, the roots can actually absorb water from the wood. The roots can absorb water from the wood. So I always use this method because it's always beneficial for me. But upon research, right, upon research, there's a possibility that charcoal is actually carbon, and that is beneficial for the soil. That's why um the green compared to a normal soil and the one that I have here, it's a bit darker, or the grow, it becomes much quicker. I don't know, but this is the method that I've been using ever since, right? So this is one of the good things that are helpful for me. The bad things is, like I said, these small balls here, the one that are turning into flowers, they always get snipped off by birds. I think that's one of the problem of having these plants still short right now. It's because as soon as the plant starts to flower, the birds come and snip off the flowers. I don't know, maybe they're tasty or something for them, or but they snip off the ends of the tree, and then the tree takes forever to grow back again, meaning that it needs to grow sideways, right? I'll show you. Let me see. I'll definitely show you. For an example, this one, for it to be a V, right? Let me, like here, for it to be a V, it got snipped off, then it was forced to grow outside, right? So that's one of the downside. That's one of the downside. Let me see also here. But some plants recover. Some plants recover. Also this one, it was snipped off. Yeah. It's this one that was snipped off. And yeah, so this small white flower, this one, and these small balls, these two balls here and the flower, they get snipped off. Like a bird just chop the plant in half, and then they eat these small balls and the flower. So that's one of the effects that I felt when it comes to the chili not growing into the size I expected it would. And also it's the learning curve for me, and it's also a challenge that I know that next time when I have such generation, and then it's the season where now they now have to flower, I need to improvise and create a protection for them not to be eaten by birds. So yeah, this is my chili video, and I thank you for watching.